son, he actually started playing the bass guitar. And so he's a part of the group, so, you know, after we've laid and rest, then they can continue and keep it going. But basically what our music is about gospel. You know, we try to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ through song. And that's pretty much what it is, and all of our songs basically are formulated, you know, to tell some kind of story that hopefully will perk somebody's heart, that will have them interested in really buying into the saving grace that God provides, you know, through the death of Christ on the cross. And that's basically, you know, what we try to do. And just about all of our songs are centered on Jesus Christ. And we basically have 4 parts to the songs. We have bass, we have baritone, we have tenor, and we have a lead. And, you know, there's always a melody to the song, and then we kind of, you know, develop the song and, you know, and pretty much, and just go from there. And one thing that we found out, you know, years ago, that the key thing to us was the harmony that's developed in the song. Because if your harmony was not right, you didn't sing. So you learned the song, and you learned, you know, how to really hold your part and not be all over the other places. And Earl, when you say stepping on somebody's toes or something like that?
Yeah, whenever someone is singing your notes, you have to kind of lean forward or lean this way, letting them know that they're getting kind of heavy. In other words, get off of my note. Get off of my note. But you know, Ty actually hit it on the head. It's a pleasure for us to go out and sing the gospel, which is the good news of our salvation. And any time that we have an opportunity to teach individuals through song, through our ministry, then we feel that we have done what God has sent us to do as far as our mission here, you know, on earth. I've been with the group now for about 8 years, but it's beautiful to hear that, you know, all of us are family, and it's a fellowship, not just when we're going out ministering, but you should be at some of our practices and see the kind of fun that we're actually having as we're, you know, making music, introducing new songs, and so we're just happy to be here. And I can't tell you how welcome we have been made to feel since we've been here in Bangor, Maine.
Praise the Lord. My name is Freddie Elliott. I'm the original of Sensational Wylie. I have over 60 years into the gospel. I started singing when I was 8, 9 years old. But I thank God for my mother and my father that they started us off on the right path.
Yes.
That's learning about Jesus Christ. You know, and I'm so glad that I had the opportunity to have the other parts of my family, you know, just join in with my other brothers. It was 5 of us that started together, but the rest of them had deceased besides one. But you know, God always had everything in store. And you don't have to worry about it, because God will take care of it. And I'm just so glad that Earl, Tyrone, Ryan, Peanut, all these guys, man, they just a blessing to me. And I'm so glad that I had the opportunity to just hang with the young fellas. So thank you.
Not to go on too long, but just to give you guys an idea of where everything kind of filtered from, because we sing with a lot of music now. We have the bass, we have the drums, we got a couple guitars sometimes, piano, everything. And it's not how it's always been, because back in the day when, even coming from the African traditions and coming up from slavery, and then once those slaves then were kind of converted over to Christianity, incorporating God and the purpose of that into the music. Still, they didn't have instruments. Really, all they had was a foot stomp and a clap.
Yes.
And that's what got them along. Along with that, you got call and response, because really all the people wanted to do was sing songs that got the audience incorporate it in worship with everyone else. So it wasn't just about singing at people, it was about getting people to sing with them. So we would get the people in the crowd to stomp and clap, and get us to sing something, you guys would respond. That's kind of how it would go. We sing a song like that called Fix It Jesus, where we'll say something, and the lead person would say something, and we would respond based on the same thing. That's how the song would go. So that's how a lot of songs back then had come, and that's how it's kind of come along for us.
Okay.
The songs and things come from blues, from a blues background, and things like that. And it has a lot to do with tying in community, culture, and things like that. And really, gospel singing for us, you know, as black people, basically, it's been just a way of life, you know, for us. We use it as a means of gathering strength, togetherness, and as a result of that, we found that it really kind of brought people together, made them feel that you were not hung out there by yourself. And plus, we're also singing about the ultimate giver, the ultimate provider, the ultimate comforter, the ultimate physician, and speaking about Jesus Christ. So it really brought so much stuff together and gave comfort, and then it started becoming even diverse, because people that understand and people who have bought into and are saved, you know, by their belief in Jesus Christ, they understand, and nothing is more important than the message itself. And as Ryan was saying, when we first started singing, we didn't know anything about a guitar. We didn't even know whether there might even be something that was called a guitar, because I mean, all we had was boom, 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 boom. We made our music by our mouths. We kept our timing by our feet and our hands. And this is, hey, we still do that today. When you ask for it, on my way home. On my way home. Said on my way home. On my way home. Said on my way home. On my way home. Come on. Fix it, Jesus, fix it like you said you said on my way home. On my way home. Said on my way home. On my way home. Said on my way home. On my way home. Come on. Fix it, Jesus, fix it like you said you would. You see? Okay? And let's take this just one step further. If I would say, we could talk about a call and a response, right? And if I would say to the guys something like this: tell me when Jesus was born, my Lord, last month of the year. Tell me when Jesus was born, my Lord, last month of the year. Tell me when Jesus was born, my Lord, last month of the year. Now was it January? No, no. February? No, no. March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November was the 25th day of December was the last month of the year. Go where I send them. How shall I send them? We gonna send them one by one. One was a little baby, baby, for my virgin Mary, wrapped all up in swaddling clothes, lay down in that manger. What you gonna name that baby? Name that baby Jesus was born, born children, born in Bethlehem. Now I'm going to put us all on the spot. Okay? Is that fair?
Yeah.
Put us all on the spot. Nobody knows that I was going to do this. But I'm going to get my nephew, I'm going to get him to do a song. Now, I'm not really sure whether Earl knows a song or Ryan knows a song. But right now, as I was talking to the moderator there, I said, I don't care about us being in a little uncomfortable situation, but what this is going to do, this is going to kind of help you guys to understand how we kind of start putting it together, even in the blind, because there's a basic that we have for any of the songs, and so we're just going to try and develop that for you. Okay?
Okay.
God has always stood by my side. He has always been my guide. When my friends walked away and turned their backs on me, he stood right by my side.
Come on.
Through many heartaches and pain, through the storms and through the rain, whatever I need, I'll just pray. I know the Lord, He will make a way. He stood right by my side. Always, 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 always. He has always stood by my side.
Sing, guys, sing.
Whatever I need, I'll just pray. I know the Lord, He will make a way. He stood right by my side.
He's right. He's right. I don't know that song. I don't know it even a little bit.
That was incredible. I could feel the vibration of you guys singing right in my chest. And unbelievable. And there's also something about family singing together that is always a remarkable thing. That's beautiful. Thank you. Well, let's see if we can squeeze another round in here in the next 20 minutes. Andre, I'd love to hear another bachata song, maybe something a little more on the upbeat side, or I don't know, something contrasting to what you did before.
Well, I cannot promise you upbeat being bachata, but since you mentioned work songs, in the Dominican Republic there is also the tradition of salves, and that is a work song, and I was thinking about it. They also happen to be very, in a way, melancholic. So this is about a dove singing in the morning. es una paloma triste cantando el amanecer. Paloma paloma que me cuida mi negrito, que lo tuve que dejar. Paloma paloma cuando vuelva mi negrito, voy a morir de alegría. Paloma paloma es una paloma triste cantando el amanecer. Paloma paloma. And that song, thank you, is a work song and a salve, and it's about the loneliness the woman is feeling while she's working on el conuco, working the field, and she's thinking about her men that just had to migrate out of the countryside to work and hopefully make more money for the family. The bachata comes from those peasants that migrated and then look for some consolation in the bottles of rum and in the bars, but there is not being written a lot of music on the other side of the coin, on what happens to whoever stays at home longing for that person that just left. So this salve, I guess, kind of balances things a little bit more.
That's beautiful. Music was something they could take with them wherever they went, so it always brings you back to home. Matthew, you have another one for us?
Yeah, I'll keep the introduction brief. They're looking at the clock there now. Keep on the work song theme, and when you grow up in a singing family and a family of kind of singing or song finders, you kind of you inherit that kind of thirst for finding and unearthing good songs, you know. And so I learned this from the singing of a great English folk singer by the name of John Roberts. And when I first heard it from John, I thought it was And when I first heard it from John, I thought this was an old traditional song that I had just never heard before. I'm always drawn to songs that sound like they could be hundreds of years older than they actually are. But it was written by a good friend of his who lives in Connecticut. Her name is Gina Dunlap. And it's a song called What Fortunes Guide a Sailor. And I kind of took it upon myself to make sure that it fell on more ears because I thought it was a beautiful song. So I'm going to give that one a try.
Bound away upon the tide, leave our friends behind us, haul anchor chains and slip away, to break the ties that bind us. Fast on the breeze to the northern seas, what fortunes guide a sailor, to earn a share of oil and bone is a hard life for a whaler. Through many dangers unforeseen, bitter storms to try us, cold icy winds and towering waves, the faintest star to guide us. Darkened skies around us poles, 'neath Greenland's cliffs forsaken, 10,000 miles away from home, with a heart that's nearly breaking. Fast on the breeze to the northern seas, what fortunes guide a sailor, for to earn a share of oil and bone is a hard life for a whaler. And when at last we hear the cry, all in wild commotion, a cutting blast and down she dives in the dreary troubled ocean. And when the whale has breathed with seabirds left to grieve her. We'll hoist our sails and steer for home, for it's time for us to leave her. Fast on the breeze for the northern seas, what fortunes guide a sailor, for to earn a share of oil and gold is a hard life for a whaler.
Wylie, I would be remiss if I didn't ask you to give us a little, I mean, we could probably talk about this all afternoon, but how did yodeling get into cowboy singing? And maybe you could tell us a little bit about it and give us an example.
Yeah, it's, you know, yodeling, how it got into, how the Cowboys got a hold of it, we really don't know for certain, but there was a Western swing band in Oklahoma, Otto Gray, who had a singer that was an Austrian, of Austrian descent, and the story was one night the fiddler got sick, who did all the solos, and so the Austrian singer where the fiddle solo should be just started yodeling, and it kind of worked. You know?
I never heard that. That's great.
Yeah, that's one of the stories.
Yeah, right.
But I'm going to give you an example of, you know, coming up the trail, the big cattle drive started after the Civil War. They took the wild cattle, I mean these were feral cattle that had gone wild, and they were a great protein source, but they were tough to gather. So the Texas Cowboys gathered them all up, and they had the reservations and the people up north that didn't have cattle up there, so they take them on these long cattle drives all the way from Texas up to northern Montana, southern Alberta, and drop them off up there and go back to Texas and take another herd up. So those were the trail herd days, late 1800s, and a lot of singing and stuff went along, but one of the problems was the cattle would scatter at night. They were wild, feral cattle. In the first few weeks, they really had to kind of treat them with kid gloves, and they had to, cattle are interesting creatures. They like familiarity. They like sounds and stuff that they've heard before, so the Cowboys started singing to them as they trailed them up, and then they would bed them down at night, every night they would bed them down, and they would sing to them at night, just to kind of soothe these cattle and give them something familiar. And so they did have old cattle calls, what they called them. And I'm going to sing a song that was written in 1932, but the foundation of it, I've heard older cattle calls, the foundation of this song goes way back. But and we have our own style of yodeling up in northern Montana. It's called the High Plains Yodel. We slow the yodel way down. We got wide open spaces there. Eddie Arnold had a hit on this song in the 50s, but he did a kind of upbeat pop version. But my dad taught me this version, and this is cattle call with a High Plains Yodel. breeze of feather, in all kinds of weather. We sing, yes, cattle call.
I thought maybe the audience might have been bedded down for the afternoon after that. They woke up pretty quick at the end of the song. That was great. Wow, that's real different. I mean, that's the real cowboy song out on the cattle drive, isn't it? That's not what you hear on the radio.
Yeah, that cattle call was. I mean, they used that. They used all sorts of sounds, but the smoother and softer you could get with those cattle, kind of bed them down.
More delicious they taste.
I know my old neighbor Red Littlefield had dairy cows, you know, and he played the radio all night long for the cows in the barn, and it would keep them calm.
That calm, and they were used to that. It was familiar, and that settled them down.
Yeah, that's really cool. Wow. Tyrone, I'd asked you earlier if maybe you could somehow demonstrate to us how those four parts of the gospel quartet sound, how they get put together. The bass, I mean, I love the sound of Freddie's bass voice, but the tenor part and the baritone part, if we could hear a little bit of each part, maybe hear a piece of a song, and then hear each part, and then hear the song again, so that we can identify the different parts when we hear you sing as a quartet.
Hear a little of the song
or a quintet.
And kind of break it up.
Yeah.
But anyway, I want to say something about the cowboy. Hey, look, guys, the other two guys, great. But when the cowboy, man, he's up there bidding the cows down, I'm going to tell you, I don't know whether this was real or not. You might have been bidding the cows down, but I heard the dog barking over there. You scared the dogs. That was wonderful. We're going to try to do a little a song that was developed. This was the first song that I believe I learned, and this was 60 years ago. What my grandparents, what they actually had taught us. And so we're going to try and do a little bit of that, and then we're going to try to let you hear the four parts of the song individually. And I'd like to know, you know, when we get finished there, who heard all four of the parts and could identify with those. All right, let's try this. Jesus taught his disciples to say,
You want to do it from the top?
I heard all four.
Let's go through it.
Pick it up, please. Jesus taught his disciples to say, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil.
Now we had the lead in.